North Idaho College proudly presents NIC Today, an informational news magazine that highlights the people, programs, and campus life at North Idaho College and the surrounding community. And now, your host and moderator, President of North Idaho College, Dr. Joe Dunlap.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to NIC Today, the program that brings you the people and the programs that make up North Idaho College. Today we're going to talk about the new Career and Technical Education Center that will be built over the next year and a half. Groundbreaking will be in the spring, and we expect to occupy and provide classes beginning fall of 2016. And so joining me today, we have John Young, who is president of Young Construction. He is also a former president of the NIC Foundation, and he comes to us today in the capacity of owner's representative on behalf of North Idaho College, representing us in the construction process. We also have Chris Martin with us today, and Chris Martin is our Vice President of Finance and Business, who has been managing the preparation and design process for the college. And then, as usual, we have Mark Browning, our Vice President for Marketing and Governmental Affairs. So Mark, welcome. Welcome, Chris and John. So the college has been working on developing this Career and Technical Education Center for quite some time. And the board has approved a $15 million budget to get that started and to get some programs moved into that facility. So why don't we start with you, Chris, and talk a little bit about the programs that will be moving out there, the process you've gone thus far, and then we'll ask John what his role has been as the owner's rep in directing that process for construction.
Well, great. The process has been a great process to be a part of, and working with our faculty to really look at our career and technical education programs and make sure that we're building a facility that will meet not only our needs today, but the needs of students and industry in the years to come. And so that process began in August, and we've gone through a very lengthy programmatic review with faculty, working on schematic design with the Architects West on this project, and really making sure that we're doing our homework, making sure that we're getting everything we need for those programs. Those programs that we've talked about moving out to this facility and giving them room for expansion include welding, industrial mechanics, diesel technology, auto repair, auto collision, and our millwright program, as well as CAD Tech and the CAD Architect program. And so those faculty members have been very engaged in working with the design team to make sure that we're really focusing on world-class, state-of-the-art labs that will be flexible for years to come.
Well, thanks, Chris. And John, tell us about your role as the owner's rep. What do those responsibilities include, and how will you be working with the architects and the contractors to bring this project to fruition?
Well, there's kind of two different roles that we play in the whole process, Joe. The first role is on the pre-construction, working with Chris, working with the staff, working with the administration on making sure that our architects and their design team, their design consultants are understanding what the needs are of the different programs. We want to make sure that the facility we build, as Chris said, addresses the growth needs in the future, but isn't exceeding our budgetary goals. We've got a balancing act here. We need to make sure we meet the budget and maximize square footage. So part of our role is to look at the construction assemblies, look at the way pieces and parts are put together, look at the operating systems so that once you move the programs in there, that when Chris has to write the check to the local utility companies, there's not a big gasp. So.
John, are there challenges or advantages based on the site? You know, we went through such a process for site selection, and there were pros and cons for all the sites. But now that the site's been selected, is there some advantage in that you just have raw dirt and you don't, what kinds of advantages, or are there advantages that come with that site?
I think that location has a lot of advantages. One of the primary ones is it's undeveloped industrial, commercial type area. So there's some advantage to building in that zone as opposed into a more to a higher density area. It's also immediately adjacent to K-Tech, and we keep hearing from the instructors and from the administrative team about what a plus that is for the project. City of Rathdrum has opened the doors for us. Chris and I have spent a few hours out there in different meetings, and they've been very helpful, helping us work through the capitalization costs and the permitting fees and process.
As we go forward, and it's hard to talk about expansion when you're building a brand new building, but as you look forward, will be a facility for 20, 30, 40 years. I would imagine from a construction standpoint, having that large plot to work with would not restrict you in any way that you might design this going forward, so that we can add on as programs are added. 5, 10 years ago, aerospace was just a budding idea in some entrepreneur's garage. Now we have an entire program for that. I would imagine there'll be other industries that will spring up along that, and that this site lends itself to some of that type of expansion as well.
I think you're right, Mark. The first phase, the first part of the project, is going to utilize about 50% of the overall project site. So we have a lot of opportunity going forward. Several of the programs are designed from the day we move in. They're designed where we can add on to them cost effectively if those programs continue to grow at the rate that's anticipated.
So, Chris, the new facility being co-located next to K-Tech, what kind of opportunities does that present for students that may attend K-Tech and then would want to transition into NIC's program? And I understand that Doug Anderson, who's the divisional chair for those particular disciplines, has been very active in working with Tim Fortune on curricular issues related to the two different programs.
I think it's only a positive at this point to have that co-location. Two key things here. One is the opportunity for dual credit, whether it's taught by our instructors at K-Tech or whether the students come over from K-Tech to the CTE facility and take part in classes while they are currently enrolled in high school. I think that just creates that bond from the minute that we're there, and just that proximity of instructors working together, program leaders working together in each of those programs is a real plus. The second thing is students will get to see, as this facility is built, there will be access to see into each lab. So as they are able to come over and be part of the CTE facility and kind of walk through that, they will see what's happening at the collegiate level program. And we think that's a great opportunity just to continue to encourage students and entice them into these programs, because they will be able to see what's actually taking place at the college level instruction and really continue to want to pursue their certifications.
So, Chris, what are the next steps, and John, you as well, in terms of getting ready for the groundbreaking and then starting the construction?
Well, at this time, our schedule from this point forward is going to be very quickly moving. We've nailed down our schematic design and our footprint and the layout, and that's really, at this point, substantially finished. And from this point, we'll be going out to bid and really working towards the constructability.
Yeah, from schematic design, we start populating these schematic drawings, which is about the 30% drawings, with all the equipment that has to support these programs. The design team, the architects and their consultants continue to add all the detail, the mechanical systems, electrical systems, all the supporting things that makes a building and makes provides the ability for the programs to function. Our goal is to have this project ready to bid sometime later this spring in May, so we can get underway in construction when the weather's good and we can make the best of the construction season.
We do have a pretty firm deadline of September of 16. I mean,
We
we lose our home where we're currently at. What's the biggest challenge in making that deadline, given that this is a public project versus a private construction project, and there are some of those constraints in there? What's the biggest obstacle that we'll have between now and first day of class in September?
I think the time frame is very realistic on to finish the construction documents, put the project out for bid and review, and have it constructed. It's a 110,000 square foot facility, so there's a lot of companies around here that do that size project all the time. We won't have a problem on the construction side of things. I think possibly looking at options on how we provide alternates to meet our funding goals is our biggest challenge right now.
That's it? That's our story. We're sticking with it.
That's our story.
Well, very good. Thank you both for being here. Finishing of a construction project kind of reminds me of harvest. And, you know, living here in North Idaho, we have some of the most beautiful farmlands around here. And this fall, as harvest was underway here in the fields of the northern reaches of the Palouse, some of the students from Philippe Val's graphic artist class got a chance to bring us these scenes from harvest here in North Idaho.
Farming is more than just putting seeds in the ground and reaping a full harvest at the end of the year. Each year comes with a significant investment. The fields go through serious preparation, and the farmer is the one who pays for everything. All the equipment, fuel, supplies, time, and labor are part of the continual investment of a farmer through every month.
When I came in, we weighed 80,000 pounds, and that was the gross weight. The tare weight was 30,000. So we had a net weight of 50,000, just under 900 bushels. That's what we get paid.
Again, the harvest scenes from some of our students through their eyes and the lenses of Philippe Val's graphic design class, and especially shot around the Plummer area, just in the southern reaches of Kootenai County and also Benewah County here this fall. So always nice I always enjoy a good harvest. That's kind of the end of the season, gets us ready for winter.
Well, thanks, Mark. Also, I'd like to thank John Young who was here in our first segment, for all that he does in our community. As I mentioned, he was a past president of our NIC Foundation board. He sits on the Kootenai Health Board, and he's committed to improving the quality of life in our community. So, John, thank you so much for all that you do. For the second half, we have with us today the executive director for the North Idaho College Foundation, and that's Rayelle Anderson. And then we also have with us today Pam Noah, and Pam works as the foundation coordinator for development. And so I want to welcome the both of you here today. And the NIC Foundation is absolutely vital to the existence and well-being of our students. They manage over $20 million in assets, provide over $1 million in scholarships each year for our students. And so I want to thank the both of you for all you do. So today we're here to talk about the annual giving campaign. And Pam, why don't you start off and tell us a little bit about what that campaign consists of?
Well, thank you for inviting us to share with you today. The North Idaho College Employee Giving Campaign is our annual fundraising drive that is customized for North Idaho College employees. And it's an opportunity for the employees to demonstrate their commitment to the mission of North Idaho College. And each year, the fun part of it, I'm just giving you the short version here. Each year, the faculty and staff challenge each other to a friendly competition. And this year, a larger percentage of our faculty participated. And overall, we had a very impressive 71% of NIC employees participating in the employee giving campaign.
So that's great, Pam. And who won that competition this year?
Well, faculty did take the trophy, yes, and very proudly.
Well,
yes.
Very good. So Rayelle, tell us a little bit about the NIC Foundation with regard to the scholarships it provides, as well as other programs that benefit North Idaho College.
Okay. So North Idaho College Foundation is a private nonprofit corporation governed by an all-volunteer board of directors of 30 folks in the community and region. And the mission of the foundation is ultimately to support the college, to support the students through scholarship support so that they can achieve a higher education, as well as program support for the various programs at the college, and one of the major projects that the foundation will be working on in the next 2 years will be helping the college complete and equip that new career and technical facility. So that's how the college and the foundation work together a bit. And this last academic year, NIC Foundation provided about $1,050,000 back to the college in actual cash in scholarship support and program support at varying levels.
And so, Pam, when you receive funding from the annual giving campaign, where do those funds go?
Employees can designate where their funds go. So for the most part, the funds will go to fund scholarships for students, program needs, the foundation grant program, and 100% of those donations go to support the area they designate.
You know, it's always such a challenge when it comes to giving because there are so many very worthy causes in the area. And I have found that the North Idaho area especially is a very giving area. Those who have means and ability to do so are very, very generous with their means. What are some of the challenges that you both find? You know, Rayelle, you've been doing this since you were about 2 or 3 years old. So what are some of the challenges in terms of competition? I mean, we don't like to think of philanthropic work as competition, but you do. You compete for those dollars.
Right, right. I would say 2 challenges. One, I think the biggest challenge we see is that young people aren't thinking they're worthy of going on to college, and that they don't know that there's resource available for them to go on. The second challenge with our donors, so many of the same supporters in the region give to the same charities. But I will tell you that what we have seen at North Idaho College Foundation for over almost 40 years, donors aren't the folks with the most money. Typically, the people that donate are the you and the I that care about the people in the community. So students and employees give a great percentage of their support to various causes, and it's the same here in this community. People care about students. They know education is the gateway for a positive future. So we really, our donors, there are so many caring people out there. We work with 600 to 700 people a year that are investing in North Idaho College students.
So in addition to the employee giving campaign, you do a number of other fundraising activities. For example, the Bon Appetit dinner and auction, and I know that's already sold out. But for the past 20 plus years, you've also been auctioning off a house that is built by our carpentry program. And I assume there's still some tickets left for that.
Great plug, Joe. Yes, the really big raffle is the NIC Foundation's signature fundraising event in a public way. And that is the learning lab. The house is a learning lab for our students. This year it's a $300,000 home located in Mill River, which is right down by Riverstone.
Yeah, that's a beautiful area.
Great area. And we have currently 4,500 tickets left. Tickets just went on sale. So we have sold 500 of the 5,000 tickets. And the drawing will be the middle of July. So we sell it every year.
And you'll sell tickets up until they're gone.
Up until they're gone, but last year we sold out a month in advance, and so buy your
It's a
ticket
limited
early.
number of tickets then.
That's right. We only sell 5,000 tickets at $100 each, and we have sold out for the last 22 years.
So the message is buy your ticket now,
Early
so
and
you're not
often.
sorry later.
That's right.
But in addition to the house, though, you give away a $10,000 prize, a $5,000 prize, as well as several other prizes. So it's much bigger than and I say just the house.
That's right. That's
But
right.
it does encompass much more.
That's right. We have 5 major prizes. So the house, and then we have another $35,500 in major prizes ranging from $20,000 to $2,000. And then we have, at our drawing, we'll have 2,000 people on the main NIC campus, and we give all kinds of prizes away there as well.
It's a big summer party
It is.
during that drawing. So if you know, folks, even if you haven't bought a ticket, come on down. It's a lot of fun. I want to go back to the Student Learning Lab because we have a couple of occasions of that. We have a children's center here on campus where students work in that early childhood. The students that go through that carpentry program with Dave McCrae and the types of houses that you've seen built over, this is now the 21st year?
This is the 23rd raffle, but the program's been in existence since 1979.
So the types of houses, I mean, we've seen anything and everything in between, and how do you plan for that? You have to take the house and the proceeds and obviously then get ready for the next year and the year after. This is not just, well, January 1, we go out and buy a piece of land and put a house on it. This is months and years in the making, I would imagine.
That's right. So just, we work closely with the carpentry program to say what size house would be most beneficial for your program. Then we find the location that would be most attractive for a raffle community. And then we work together collaboratively to figure out how many square feet can we afford and how many can the students effectively work on. The houses usually are about 2,000 square feet in size. That works well for a program where Dave brings in his students in the fall. In the summer, they're brand new to construction, and by May they have completed a residential construction project as well as others, and they can go out in the community and go to work residential construction, but you can also go on and get your an additional degree in construction management here at North Idaho College that helps folks, maybe they want to have their own business or whatnot. So just great opportunities for those students. They're always employed. They have employment usually before they graduate in May.
So Rayelle, where will the next 2 houses be built?
Great question. This year's house is in Mill River, right here in Coeur d'Alene. And the following year, we will be back out in Post Falls, around Syringa Park, right on the park as it was this past year. And then the 3rd year out, we'll be back down to Mill River again. So we have had to secure residential lots in advance because Kootenai County is filling up a lot of those residential lots.
So Pam, with the employee giving campaign beginning to wind down, what's next on your priorities to jump into?
Good question. You mentioned Bon Appetit. That is our fundraising event that is coming up soon, within just a couple weeks. It is sold out, but we are very busy preparing the auction items and the printed material for that event. So we're very busy. And then just planning our budget for scholarships for 2015-16, which is looking like another very good year for plenty of scholarship awards.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've been told the last couple of years that one of the primo prizes has been a dinner aboard someone's sailboat, and that's been really one of the most sought after items.
There's a bidding war going on that one. Yeah, that would be Captain Joe and his first skipper. Is that what you call it? First mate. First mate, Yvette.
Yeah, and so we auction off a sailboat and gourmet dinner out on Lake Pend Oreille, and for the past 2 years has been an absolutely wonderful time and has helped raise some scholarship money for the foundation.
I think that's the fun part and the beneficial part, because you really can make that direct correlation from going to a tremendous event and bidding and the money that is spent. You see that translated back here with the students. And for me, that is such a rewarding part of what you're able to provide through the foundation, is it really does. Sometimes we give to causes and you wonder how much of it gets back to the people who are in need. I don't ever have that doubt here with the foundation. How are you able to keep your overhead and your administrative costs so low? Because it costs it takes resources to be able to manage monies in a philanthropic way. How are you able to do that?
Great question, Mark. Over the years, North Idaho College Foundation leadership has made it a priority to save. So when the raffle was done in year 1 and year 2 and year 3, the NIC Foundation basically put those funds, any of the net proceeds, in a savings account to basically help them over time pay for operational costs for their organization, a sustaining fund, if you will. So over time, that corpus has been able to provide the operational support the foundation needs to operate on an annual basis. And then anything donated through the Bon Appetit event or a scholarship donation or whatnot, 100% of those proceeds will go directly to the cause. And so the Foundation Board of Directors as well do many different fundraising strategies to raise dollars to support the operational costs. And we have certain donors who, invest in operations just to sustain our mission. So that's how we do it. The raffle has really been the nexus of that cash flow over the years.
One other project that the foundation does that I'd like for you to highlight for us, Rayelle, is the mini grant program that gives students, faculty, and staff an opportunity to exercise their creativity and request funding from the foundation that support a wide variety of innovative projects on campus. Can you talk to that a little bit?
I'd love to. The North Idaho College Foundation grant program was started as a direct result of the success of the Really Big Raffle originally, 23 years ago. And the foundation felt that the college could utilize some extra margin of excellence at funding to help the employees, faculty, staff, student groups be creative and innovative. And so when the college in budget restrictive times and other times really doesn't have that extra cash flow to do that. So the foundation proudly has been providing that formalized grant opportunity. So faculty, staff apply for those grants, and then there's a selection process that goes on, and really it focuses on collaborative ideas, creative ideas, new ideas. One of the first grants that was funded, Joe, basically created an internet opportunity here at North Idaho College. Basically sharing resources, connectivity virtually through the computer systems. That was prior to North Idaho College's being able to network all of the different offices and programs. And online course delivery is what so the first online course delivery was our anatomy and physiology program had an idea and they needed a server. And so out of that came a whole lot of change. But foundation dollars helped fund that initial idea. So that kind of gives some background.
Well, that's a great project. Mark, any closing comments?
You know, I just want to applaud both the foundation and John and Chris for their work. You know, everybody working together in this community. We're getting things done. We're going to be able to respond to industry, and bottom line is help people get the skills they need to be employed gainfully here and stay here and help make our community better. It's a great thing to be involved with.
Well, and as a reminder to everyone, I want to suggest that you can watch this program on Channel 19 in the Coeur d'Alene area. And you can also enjoy it anytime you want by going to our website at nic.edu. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us today to learn a little bit more about the college, the people, and the programs that make things happen. And we wish the very best to you. Thank you.